Hello again, and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, from one that shocked music fans around the world when Apple Music's 100 Best Albums of All Time list hit the web that sparked heated debates. Seeing as according to Apple, these are the top 20 best albums of all time. And as you can see, Lauryn Hill took the #1 spot, even over Michael Jackson's Thriller. And I have my theories on this, which we'll get to later, but when it comes to hip-hop and R&B, we witnessed some wild things that even got King Crooked to share a video like this a few hours ago.
Nah, somebody gonna answer for that list.
Drake's Take Care over albums like Doggy Style, Get Rich or Die Trying, and MMLP that are all in the bottom 80. The Eminem Show didn't even crack the top 100. The Blueprint over Illmatic. And when a question about why albums like SOS rank over anything Eminem or Missy Elliott ever made, Ebro ended up putting his foot in his mouth. He was all over the place in his attempt to explain why Eminem and Missy didn't match up. And this sparked a roasting session on social media, since clearly the people who should know better are obviously clueless when it comes to some key facts in music. And we'll get to more on this in a moment. Today we also have more that continues the Joe Budden saga, since he decided to speak on Diddy's infamous video and also Diddy's apology. And boy, a scathing interview has now surfaced of Joe Budden speaking of an encounter. And to be honest, it is not looking good for Joe Budden right now, and we'll also be exploring reactions. More on this momentarily. And today we also have more on Kendrick versus Drake, and also J. Cole's decision to fold, as T.I. recently shared his thoughts on the battle, and he believes this one is one of the most extreme battles in hip-hop history, and he explained why, which we'll get to later, including his thoughts on J. Cole folding with quickness. And starting with Apple Music's top 100 list that turned out to be a disaster, Ebro set himself up when he decided to speak on why acts like Caesar have albums rank higher than the best projects from Eminem and Missy. Check out some snippets from Apple Music.
I see a tweet here that says, SZA higher than Eminem and Missy is wild to me as well. SZA's album is about to break Michael Jackson's long-standing record for being in the for an R&B album, being in the Billboard Top 200 for consecutive months, I think. Mm-hmm. It's either consecutive weeks or consecutive months. I don't know.
I think it's consecutive months.
It's about to beat it.
Crazy.
Now, before we continue to watch Ebro embarrass himself by trying to rationalize tomfoolery from the voters, this is the record he's talking about. Caesar's SOS is now just 12 weeks away from becoming the longest running top 10 album by a black artist in Billboard 200 history. The record is held by Michael Jackson's Thriller. So they all got it wrong on the panel, and those who know better know this is a redundant record in 2024 compared to the 80s, based on the fact that the industry has changed so much since the days of Thriller. Today, 50,000 a week gets you a top 5 position on Billboard. For comparison, Illmatic opened with 60,000 and failed to make the top 10. But back to Ebro, he kept shuffling for Apple.
I love Super Duper Fly Missy Elliott, and I love Missy Elliott. It didn't do that at the time. And Eminem, as big as Eminem has been with his singles, I don't know if his albums did those numbers or that kind of longevity.
Yeah, none.
And there is, I need to say, there is recent history bias in this list because you have such a young panel of people voting inside Apple Music. A lot of our editors.
It goes both ways,
yeah.
I'm sure. So it's like, but to your point, like, how do you just bring all this together and make it make sense?
Well, and I think this won't be the last time. This won't be the last time we do this.
No.
And we also have to point out that streaming didn't count towards any of these.
No, this was not based on sales or streaming.
So if you caught that, while Ebro tried to rationalize SOS using Billboard chart position, they turned around and concluded that actually it is not about sales, all seconds apart. And users have been going off on social media I refuse to believe that someone who is in the music industry would openly show that he has no idea what he's talking about. There are times when it is better to keep quiet than to make a fool of yourself, Ebro. They kept going off. Ebro is trying to tell us why Caesar is higher than Eminem and Missy Elliott because she was about to break MJ's record. Then he says, oh, this list isn't based on streams or sales. Seriously, are you okay, guys? And some have concluded, laughing emojis. This just shows what I thought is true. These people have no idea and no merit to comment on hip-hop. No one should take them seriously. And in my opinion, Apple Music used this disaster of a top 100 list as a tool to promote Lauryn Hill, as she revealed she's working on her second studio album a few days ago. And I believe this was all promo for that upcoming release. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on the list. Good Kid, Mad City in the top 10, while hip-hop albums that took hip-hop global and still remain relevant to this day couldn't even crack the top 80. Some didn't even make the top 100. Frank Ocean's Blonde at number 5, while Usher's Confessions is at 95. Perhaps Ebro could explain this one. And moving on to the next point, T.I. was recently on DJ Who Kid's podcast, and he shared his thoughts on Kendrick versus Drake. And he also spoke on J. Cole, who decided to fold. Check out some snippets.
I will say this though, it is probably one of the more exacerbated beefs I've seen.
T.I. go with the dictionary.
Yeah, man. All this stuff can't be true. You know what I'm saying? Like everything everybody's saying can't be true. Like, good God, you know. I got respect for both of them, man, and I think they both are phenomenal hit makers. And I'm just waiting on the tour, you know, now, because that's the only thing, you know.
Left to happen.
Listen, after the disagreement, the only thing that's gonna sell is the reunion.
Listen, what about J. Cole added in there?
J. Cole, I think he opted out.
No, I'm saying, would you want to see him on the tour? Like,
I don't think he want to see it. I think
you don't want to see himself on the tour.
Man, he chose peace and serenity. That is very mature.
I love it. I was about to say,
very mature.
There's nothing that nobody could do.
That's a lot of
I hate J. Cole. I love
that's
J.
a
Cole.
lot of I don't give a fuck in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know what? Fuck this shit, man. That shit don't matter.
Like, I ain't about to do that.
Like, at the end of the day, you know, what can I really receive from this? That was very Gandhi of him.
And in response to T.I.'s comments on Kendrick and Drake touring, the fans aren't having it. T.I. says he neither Kendrick Lamar and Drake tour. Kendrick Lamar will pass. We don't associate with PDF files.
Damn.
And some have called him out for even suggesting it. There isn't no tour, homie. He told that dude he thinks he should die. What the F is going on with these takes? And since he said it was very Gandhi of J. Cole to fold, some are now asking, did Gandhi throw rocks and hide his hand, or did I miss that part? Laughing my bum off. Somehow it seems some people forgot that Cole released an entire diss record before he folded, threw the punch and walked out of the ring. And moving on to the next point, Joe Budden's decision to speak on Diddy is one that shows Joe Budden really fell for the most obvious bait in 2024 when it comes to an issue like this, as users have been pulling up receipts faster than US dollars get printed. And if you recall, Budden was accused of beating a pregnant woman, and now that interview in question is now making the rounds. It is not a good look for Joe Budden right now. Check out some snippets from The Breakfast Club before we get to the reactions so far.
He's saying that you beat her, you strangled her, and you sat on her stomach.
We got into an argument, and it just basically ended up choking me so I couldn't breathe, slamming me up against the door, like in the closet doors. He threw me on the floor, grabbing me by my wrist and sitting on my stomach.
I go in the other room, and she's in the bed, and I said, wake it up. What are we gonna do? And she was just like, what do you mean? I'm asleep. Just like real arrogant. I'm like, what are we gonna do? This ain't gonna continue like this.
Right.
What are we gonna do? So I dragged her out the bed. I definitely did. After a couple more lines of that arrogant talk.
By her feet, hair, arms?
No. My feet. A little light drag. Nothing.
Came home, we wanted to have a conversation with Esther Baxter.
Little light
you drag out the
off
bed.
a nice king size on a beautiful plush carpet.
Okay.
Like, please.
Okay.
So we went back and forth with the beefing for about maybe all of 4 to 5 minutes.
Nope, you dragged her off the bed, Joe, and you sat on her stomach and held her down so she could hear you. Come on.
No.
You get all the bruises.
Makeup, I don't know.
Come on, Joe.
I'm telling you.
So the police were called, you were arrested that day.
Listen, slow down, because it gets crazier than that. So we're in the closet,
Whoa.
and I got her pinned against the wall.
Right.
And I asked her if she's crazy about 3 to 4 times, but she's kicking and she's punching and she's swinging. So as I got her hemmed, I got to try to like back up off her, but she's still going, and her stamina is unbelievable, and mine's isn't.
Right.
So I put her on the ground. I don't throw her on the ground.
A pregnant woman.
But I'm much stronger than her.
All the more reason you're digging a deeper hole for yourself.
No, he
Joe.
placed her on the ground. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm
He's
just telling-
saying that she's going
listen,
crazy. He's trying to-
At no point am I saying that I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay.
And at no point am I saying that.
Okay.
But I certainly haven't done what's being said. So I put her on the ground, and I do get on top of her. Do I sit on her stomach? No.
What do you sit on, Joe?
I would like to think that I sat on what she's got. Esther's got huge breasts. So I'm thinking to me, I'm sitting right underneath her breasts.
Are they?
Joe, you're not stupid.
Are they real breasts?
No, Joe. No.
Yeah, they're real.
Are they real? Okay.
They're real.
Underneath her breast
So
is
that's
her
where I'm
stomach?
at. But listen,
Underneath her breast is her stomach.
But listen, no, listen. If she's pregnant and we just left the doctor, I know where the baby is, number one. And number two, I'm not sitting on her applying my 194 pounds on her stomach. So I have her arms, and all of the pressure is on my 2 legs. So I'm not sitting on her at all, really. But I have her
So
on
like
the ground.
straddling her.
So I have her on the ground.
Restraining her down, right.
And I'm saying to her, yo, chill, stop.
And boy, they've been going off on Joe Budden, as it seems an entire generation just found out about this. Check this out. Can't believe he admitted it on camera, and they turned it into a joke. Joe's ability to minimize and avoid questions should be studied. 2024 deviants being exposed. They kept going. This is gonna resurface in 5, 4, 3, 2, yuck. He has no right to comment on Diddy. He's the same form of disgusting, and they are raining down on Joe at the moment. A whole legion just found out about this thanks to his Diddy commentary. Stopped watching anything about love and hip-hop years ago, so I never knew this about him. Now I do. I hope he goes down hard like a tree for everything he's done. Already knew he was a lying, cheating sociopath for doing T dirty. Didn't know he put hands on her and this pregnant woman too. Please stay away from toxic men, ladies. No matter how rich or suave they think they are. Well, it is like moth to a flame. And even those who believe in change have also admitted this is a horrible look for Joe. People change, but damn, this ain't a good look, Joe. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on these topics, including Joe Budden's decision to put Diddy on blast. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.